everybody. Hey guys, it don't look like anybody's on here yet, and I know it's like a random Wednesday, but wanted to go live because I've got the time. I don't have any videos that are in the works right now, any plans to make any videos. Well, I've thought about a few different things, but I like going live. I like being able to talk with you all and be able to hang out. Hey Wilbur, how are you? I like having conversations and just hanging out with my people, and you know, you all are my people. So I love it. How are you doing, Wilbur? Are you excited about Christmas, or what's the deal on Christmas? What's your stance on Christmas? Go lay down, sir. That dog. I am yeah, it's very cold out tonight. It's been very cold and windy today. Yesterday it was decent. I think we got it was up to 59, but as the days went on, the temperatures dropped. The hubby and the daughter they just left to go hunting, to go coon hunting, and so they're working on training a couple dogs. So that's what they're doing. And for whatever reason, if it's a cold day, they let going. But here's the thing about coon hunting that I don't think, it's different in a lot of ways than maybe, like deer hunting, because a lot of people like sit in stands or blinds or something, and you're there. Like it's a long trek in, a long trek out, but you're not doing much moving around. Coon hunting, it's a running pace. Like you're running, you're going uphill, because we live in the mountains. You're climbing up mountains. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of exercise. And so you get hot very quickly. And so I think that's a lot of the reason why they like going, which season, actual like being able to pew a raccoon, the season is in the fall and the winter. The colder months. So, but they're just working on training dogs. Have not seen you in forever. Oh, I know. I haven't been live for a while. I put out a video, I think, at the beginning of the week. It's been a week, and I thought about making some videos on it. But a lot of farming, that's what I'm getting ready to talk about. A lot of farming in some situations is like a gut feeling. And where we've been doing it for so long, like it's like your gut tells you, you really shouldn't do this. If you do this, there's going to be consequences to it. And I have done a video. I did it maybe last year, the year before last. And I said, I'm never breeding in the winter again. It was my first time breeding in the winter rabbits, and it was a problem from the start. So this year has been no different. I had 3 does due on the coldest nights. The first doe was Boise. She had 5 kits. All of them froze to death. She is a seasoned doe. I have no clue why, but she didn't pull enough fur. I talked to another rabbit owner, and she had brought up to me, we were discussing, I was like, I don't know why a seasoned doe would not pull fur, for her kits. And she said, do you think maybe it's because they're worried that they're going to get cold, so they just won't? I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with rabbits, but rabbits and prey animals, a lot of prey animals in general, they will sacrifice their babies every single time. They will not sacrifice their own life for their babies, and rabbits are no different. Rabbits will kill and eat their own young to save and preserve their lives. And so, that was the situation maybe that happened. I'm not quite sure why she didn't pull fur. It was a cold night. She didn't hardly pull any fur. She had 5 kits. All of them were dead. And when we came in, she was eating one. And that happens sometimes with bad moms. That also happens if there's dead kits in the nest. Like I said, they're prey animals, and they don't want to draw. They don't want to draw attention to themselves, so they will get rid of the dead kits because they're going to start stinking and things like that. And so she's had one previous litter with us. That's the only litter she had ever had, and then this was the second litter. Like I said, she had 5 kits. Every single one of them passed away. They froze to death. Then we had 2 does. We had 2 does that were due. One doe that was due the same day as Boise, but she didn't have her kits until 2 days after. And her name is No Name. She had 3 kits. One passed away. I'm not quite sure if it froze or if it was just, a first time litter fluke. If you're not familiar with rabbits or raising rabbits, a lot of times, first time moms are not very good moms. They'll have stillbirths. Their babies will pass away. They will refuse to feed their babies. They will kill their babies. They will eat their babies. They're a very odd. They have, like I said, they're very self-preserving when it comes to, their lives. And sometimes you have really good moms. I have decent moms on the farm, but I have one really, really, really good mom that really takes care of her kits, and really, goes out of the way for her kits. So much so that she will continue to pull fur, like 2 or 3 days after she has her kits. She will continue to pull fur every single day for her kits to make sure that they have everything they need. She's a wonderful mother. But all the rest of them are kind of so-so. And like I said, I've got 2 starter does this year. 2 does that these are their first kits. One of them was, like I said, No Name. She had 3 kits. One passed away. She's got 2. And I've been checking the kits every day, and I just don't feel like she's feeding them like she should. It's rare-ish to see a doe in the nest because does do not stay in the nest. So, here's another tip for people that don't have rabbits or never have had rabbits. Rabbits only feed their babies twice a day. Typically, you're only going to see them in the nest twice. They're not like most mammals. They don't coddle their babies. They don't sit on their babies. They don't try to keep their babies warm. I've talked about it time and time again. A kit, what they call a singleton or a single kit, is a lot less likely to survive due to the fact that it doesn't have a sibling. A baby rabbit needs its siblings more than it needs its mom. And majority of that is because baby rabbits cannot maintain their own heat for a while. They need their siblings to keep them warm. Mom will not keep them warm. The only thing that mom does to keep them warm is pull fur and feed them. And if she doesn't do one or the other or both, the kits will not survive. But you can sometimes what they call shelf feed, which means that the person feeds the rabbits. I have not had success with that, but it can be successful, but they need their siblings. One kit is very unlikely to survive without its siblings. But she had 2. I don't feel like she's feeding them like she should. But Iris had hers, and Iris is my blue-eyed doe. Everybody loves her. She's absolutely beautiful. She's my chocolate blue-eyed doe. She had 5. And hers are fat. She pulled a lot of fur. She's taking good care of them. We had temperatures that were really cold today. Everybody was doing good. I'm going to hope the plummet in temperature tonight is not horrible, but hopefully everybody makes it throughout the night. But it's been a rough week. 6 dead kits is not something I wanted to come into. And, it's hard because I had said before I wasn't going to breed them in the winter. I wasn't going to have kits in the winter. And like I said, I made a video on that like a year or two ago. And I went against what my rule was. I went against what I said I was going to do. Mostly because I had a lot of people contacting me wanting a specific color of rabbit, which is the chocolate. And so that's why I bred my black otter doe and then my two chocolate does. And all of them had chocolates, all of them had blacks, and Boise's unfortunately didn't make it, like I said. And one of No Names didn't make it. She didn't have a very big litter. 3 is not very much. We'll try her again in the spring, but if she can't do no better than that the second time, she's out of there, which is unfortunate because she's a really good doe. So, but I try to keep a tight ship. I try to keep my breedings. I try to keep successful does and get rid of unsuccessful does. I try to keep what sells, and so we'll just have to see. What's going on. But it's been a rough week on the farm when it comes to just like being able to have successful litters. Which is unfortunate. I've never had that issue, but I'll never do it again. I will never do it again. I said that I wasn't going to, but this confirms my gut feeling. I remember asking my husband in the fall, should I breed the 3 other does? Should I breed them? They're coming in of age. Should I breed them or should I wait till spring? And it was just like a gut feeling telling me, do not breed them, do not breed them, do not breed them, do not breed them. But then I had other people, wanting kits, and other people, saying, this probably be fine. It's okay. I talked to other people. They're like, yeah, I'm breeding. I'm going to be having kits soon. So I was like, well, they're doing it, so maybe I should do it, No, follow your gut. Like I said, a lot of farming is that gut feeling. That gut feeling that tells you, this is going to happen. And it seems like a lot of times, if I don't follow that, I always end up in a ditch somewhere. But if I follow my own gut, if I follow my own advice, I'm usually doing pretty good. So I will not be doing any more winter breedings. I will not, or fall breedings in the winter. I will not. We will start back in the spring. And I breed spring and summer and fall. A lot of people don't breed in the summer because it gets awful hot. But depending on how warm it is at the end of the spring is usually what is my determining factor of how I breed for summer babies. But I'm also somebody that doesn't keep my does pregnant all the time. I usually give them anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks between kittings. I usually only breed a couple does at a time. I do not continue to breed does back. I like to give them a break. You said cats and dogs. Yeah, they're completely opposite. Yeah, rabbits are completely like I said, they're very prey. They're a very prey animal. If you think about rabbits like on the food chain, rabbits are really low on the bottom. They eat grass. So they're at the bottom of the food chain. And if you give the rabbit the chance, they will choose their own life over their babies every single day. They will not. They will choose their own life over their babies every single time. They're not as easy to reproduce as some people let on. You've ever heard the term like breed like rabbits? Depending on what the breed are, they're really not. And the majority of that is because they're not successful caregivers. They can breed. But keeping the babies alive is their downfall. They don't have strong parenting skills at all. And they will leave their kits high and dry. They will even kill their own kits. Throw them out of the nest. Eat them. Throw them. Kick them. Pee on them. They really are just rough. They really are just really rough on their babies. To be honest with you, when I first started breeding rabbits, we had a rabbit for 2 years, and it was a pet. Because everybody said, well, they breed like rabbits. You know, you just gotta have a bunch of rabbits, and I didn't want that, so we didn't go with it for about 2 years. And my very first litter, I had a mama that had maybe 8 kits. It was her very first litter. Our very first litter, she had 8 kits, and I came in. I knew she was having the babies. I come in to check on them, and she had eaten 2. There was parts everywhere, and there was blood everywhere. She had eaten them. She had thrown some out and killed them. And there was one that had survived, and that's the one that I tried to shelf feed. That's the only time I've ever had to shelf feed a rabbit. There was one that survived for a short period of time. It passed away, I think, like day 6. And she had cut it, I guess, with her toenails, or she tried to bite it or something. She had tried to kill it. I don't think she realized it had survived, but she had killed the rest. And that was rough. You know, when that happened, I was like, there's no way. Like, I cannot be a rabbit breeder. There's no way, because coming into like cannibalism is, you know, hard. Even if it's not your own species. If you can imagine, it was really, really rough watching a mother eat her kits. Because, you know, but cannibalism is a thing in rabbits. And I don't think that people see that side of them if they don't actually breed rabbits. But yes, it's rough. And there's a channel here that I've become good friends with. She's in Portugal. And she has rabbits, and she's been spending she spent the whole summer, maybe even the spring, summer, and fall, maybe definitely summer and fall into winter, trying to get her rabbits to breed, and she has been unsuccessful the whole season, every season. So they're not as easy to breed or to keep up as some may think. So, you know, homesteading and farmsteading is a different way of life. Farming is a different way of life, and it makes for some tough people. It makes, especially if they're children, it makes for some really tough kids. I was talking to my daughter the other day. She's just a child, and we were talking, and I was telling her how proud I was and how successful she has been at such a young age, and the things that she has, the abilities that she has that some adults don't even have, and the grasp of reality that she has within her life, the things that she can do, and sadly even some of the things that she's had to witness, you know, deaths of animals. She's had to bury a lot of animals. She has seen, you know, cannibalism. She has seen, you know, chickens out in the yard that have been, you know, unalived. And so those things are hard, but it is going to make her a stronger, more compassionate person. And, you know, I was explaining to her, you know, these skills that she has, and like, she can drive a tractor, she can drive a vehicle, she can, you know, on the farm, we don't let her drive it on the road, obviously. She can drive a 4-wheeler. She knows animal husbandry. She knows where her food comes from. She knows how to grow food. She knows how to start seeds. She knows how to can. She knows how to preserve. She knows how to put up, dehydrate. All these things that majority of adults in society nowadays, I would say, does not know how to do. And I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of her upbringing. I have a lot of pride in how I've raised our child, how we have raised our child, and you know, the things that she has witnessed in just her short period of life, I know is going to make her, and has made her, a better person. And I'm thankful for that. This is the life we wanted for her. And I've talked about this so many times, but raising a child is a tremendous responsibility. And we had set in our mind and our hearts that we wanted to raise her in this way. We wanted to raise her to be around animals. We wanted to raise her to be self-sustainable, to learn skills, to be able to provide for herself at any given time that she needs to. And I think that that's a skill that is lost in today's generations. They don't have that skill. It's all give me, want. I want everything. I want brand new. I want this. I want that. You know, it's a give me world out there, and I'm trying to raise our child to not be a give me world, to be maybe the one that possibly stands out, you know, around her peers, but to be smart and strong-willed and self-sustainable, and to have skills that maybe others might not have, and to be successful in this life. And I feel like that concept is lost on this generation's, my generation, the generation after me, the generation coming up. It's been lost. And I plan to raise a child that knows those skills. Whether she ever has to use them, that doesn't matter. If she knows them, she knows them. I was reading a post on Facebook the other day, and it was talking about how this individual, I'm going to say a woman, I believe it was, she was talking about how her grandparents were homesteaders. Or maybe her great-grandparents. No, it was her grandparents were homesteaders. And how her parents raised her on like processed food and, you know, the things you get out of the grocery store. They had like cable TV and cell phones and this or that and the other. And, you know, how those things that her grandparents, that it just took 3 generations from her grandparents to her parents to her, the concept of homesteading, the concept of self-sustainability, the concept of raising your own food or growing your own food was completely lost on her. And she has now to learn those skills, to learn the skills to sustain life, to sustain her life, to sustain her children's life, to sustain her animals' life. There's a lot that goes into to farming, and we want to talk. Like, I watched a video the other day, and it was a little boy asking a cowboy if he was a cowboy, and he turned around and he looked at his sibling or somebody, and he said, "See, I told you that cowboys were real." And, you know, the first thing of that is that, you know, there's younger generations that are being raised up that they don't know that cowboys are actually a thing. Well, why is that? Because they're a dying breed. It's not something that you see. You don't see cowboys like you used to. It's not a common thing. Well, next to that, I would say the farmer is a dying breed. And we know this because there's only very few farms that provide substance for us to eat. If you're not raising your own food, you're going to the grocery store. Well, there's only very few farms that are actually providing those groceries here in America that you're actually eating. Majority of what you're eating is from some other country. And, you know, that's a sad reality that my people, that what I do for a living is dying, and that our children don't have the concept of these things. They don't know where their food's coming from. They don't know who provides the food for them. They don't know how to grow the food that they're eating. They don't even know what kind of animal. There's such a separation or a disconnection from our food sources. And I think that we've seen a shift in this in 2019 and 2020 when there was, you know, no food in the grocery store. It became a thing then. But here's the thing. We should have known these things beforehand. Why is there a disconnection between the beef that sits in front of you in the grocery store to the cow that it's taken from? I know it's hard for people to have the concept that the food that you grab in the grocery store, the beef or the pork or the chicken, has a face, but it does. Before it gets to you, it has a beating heart. It has lungs. It has hoofs on its feet. It has, all the internal organs. It has everything. It has a face before it reaches you. And we need to start being thankful that our food has a face, because we're getting away from that. We're getting away from that in grocery stores. We're getting these processed things, these fake animals, these fake meats in our grocery stores because people don't want to know that their food had a face before it hit the table, that their meats had a face before it hit the table. And I think that takes the gratefulness and the thankfulness out of our food. It does. Because if you're having to process your own animal, if you're having to go out, like we do, go out on the farm, grab an animal, and say, this is the one that we're going to eat today, it hits a lot different. It makes you a lot more grateful for the thing that is sitting on your table. It makes you feel blessed for the capability of knowing how to raise and produce your own food. And it makes you extremely, extremely thankful for that animal that gave its life for you to eat. Is it sunshine and roses all the time? Absolutely not. And, when you're eating, is it hard at times to think, animal had to lose its life for me to eat this? Yeah, it is. But it makes you a lot more thankful for the things that you have. It makes you a lot more thankful for the food that you have on your table. And I feel like these generations coming up, starting with my generation probably, we have become ungrateful brats. We have become people that are satisfied with having everything in excess in front of us when we snap our fingers. And because of that, we get whatever we want, when we want, and it makes us ungrateful, like I said, little brats. It doesn't make us thankful or feel blessed or grateful for the things that sit in front of us. It makes us selfish. And the sad part about that is selfishness is becoming the norm. Selfishness is the thing that people are teaching their children to be. Selfishness is the people, a lot of the people you meet out on the streets or out in the public today, where they think that people owe them something, that people need to bow to their needs, that whatever they say goes, and it's made for bratty generations. These children that are coming up now are thinking that they can make decisions for themselves when they don't even have their frontal cortex is not even developed yet, and they're trying to tell you that they're this or that and the other. And why? I know the reason why. Because we have become ungrateful and bratty and not thankful because we can do this, we can snap our fingers, and we can get whatever we want. And to me, it's like, to me, it makes me sad for the future. It makes me look into the future with sadness in my heart. And it motivates me even more so to make sure that the children around me and my child are going to be raised to have gratefulness and thankfulness in their heart. Because if you're not thankful for anything, you're not going to take care of it. I remember, and a lot of you older people, probably my age and older, you remember like your parents would tell you to take care of something. And, it would be hard on you if something broke. Or, if something broke, like we'll say like a bicycle broke and it was something that you had been waiting for, and let's say the tire broke or you broke the handlebars off or something happened to it, you would ride that thing until the wheels literally fell off. And then you would have to wait for your parents to save up to purchase, to to purchase this, a new bike. It would hurt you. I remember when I was a child, my dad would get on to us for throwing our bikes down. You remember, like, you pull into the yard and you throw your bike down in the front yard and it would rub, the holes in the handlebars. It would rub the stuff off. And my dad told us one time, and my brother, he still threw his bike down on the ground, and he said, take care of your things. Take care of your stuff. And so after he told me that, I always put my bike on the kickstand. I didn't throw it in the yard. I put it up on the kickstand. I leaned it up against the wall so it wasn't falling and it wasn't rubbing, and I wasn't rubbing the handles off of it. Well, my brother broke his bike, and so he would get in the habit of stealing mine. And he would go down through the neighborhood and throw my bike down in the bushes and get it all scratched up and, throw it on the ground. And I would get so mad at him. And I would say, just because you don't take care of your stuff doesn't mean that you need to, destroy mine. I would get upset about it. But it was because I was raised by parents that told me to take care of my things. They taught me to be grateful. They taught me that the value of money. They taught me the value of taking care of your things. They taught me the value of buying something new is, something that has to be saved up for. We're not just going to hand you this brand new whatever. You're going to have to take care of it. And if something happens to it, it's going to be a while before you can get a new whatever. And so that was how I was raised. And that's long gone. That's long gone. Nowadays, the new iPhone comes out. It doesn't matter if there's something wrong with your old one. The new iPhone comes out, and guess what? You're going to buy the new generation. Why? My husband just got listen, me and my husband have been together for a while. We've been dating we started dating over a decade ago. Our wedding anniversary is coming up. We've been married for almost 10 years now. And that man has never, ever had a new phone out of the store since me and him been together. Never. Never has he ever. Every phone that he has purchased, he likes iPhone, but every phone that he has purchased, he has bought for $50, $75, generations down the line. The less popular brand of the iPhone, probably got it, his first phone the first cell phone he got when we were dating, he bought off a friend of mine. She dropped it in the toilet. It got wet and had issues, and so she had to get a new phone. Well, it dried out and it started working, and she sold it to my husband for $50. After that, years down the road, this man has only had 3 phones since me and him have been together. So it was that phone, the toilet phone, that he bought for $50, and then he bought a phone off of his brother for $60. It was an iPhone. It had the screen, the camera was busted out of it, and he carried that phone around until he purchased a new one. And I think it's like the iPhone. I don't even know. Like, it's discontinued. This iPhone is not even made anymore. That's how old it is, and so. That's because he was raised like I was. Because we don't need the latest whatever. And I had a conversation. I was talking on live, maybe the last time I did live, and I was telling people how I hate Christmas. And I don't hate it for the reasons that some might think. I hate Christmas because I hate buying presents. I hate shopping. I hate going into it. Now, don't get me wrong. Thrift store, a Goodwill, an antique shop, count me there. If you called me up right now and said, hey, do you want to go to the antique store, you would count me there. But I don't like rolling into the Walmart or the Target or whatever's popular right now. I don't like rolling into those places and buying Christmas presents for people spending money that they don't care nothing about, and buying them a present for it to end up in the trash, the closet, on the trading post, something they're never going to use, thrown out in the garage, because that's what Christmas is now. And why is it like that? You older people, if there's older people on here, years ago you made Christmas presents. Or you bought something that somebody really needed. You didn't go out here and you go to Walmart and buy the latest whatever, or, just to buy what I would call like a stocking stuffer. something that nobody really is going to use, something they don't even like, but you're just buying them something because you have to buy, because you feel obligated buying stuff for Christmas. And to me that it's taken the joy out of Christmas. We were talking on that live how like the magic of Christmas is gone. The magic of Christmas is gone. Why is it gone? You know, people don't even really go shopping for their gifts now. They're getting on Amazon. They're scrolling through at nighttime in the bed, and they're finding something they think you might like or something that's cheap. They're getting it shipped to their house in 2 days. They're wrapping it in wrapping paper. They're giving it to you, and you're probably never going to use it. It's probably going to go in a drawer. It's probably going to go in the basement. It's probably going to go in the closet, maybe even the trash. You might sell it. I mean, it's nothing you're going to use. And to me, that has slowly just ripped the joy out of Christmas. Because there used to be so much thought. You used to think about what's going to bring these people joy. If I get you something for Christmas, the reason why I don't like going into the Walmart or the Target or whatever is because there's no thought put in behind that. I'm walking in, I'm seeing whatever they've got on the shelf there, and a lot of times I'm not thinking about nothing. Do you remember when you used to like just get pictures taken and you would like give it to your mom? You know, like I remember when I was a teenager, we would get pictures taken. Or we wouldn't even pay for somebody to take our pictures. We would get out in the prettiest part of our yard or go to the park. We would take pictures. We would print them off, and that would be our mom's Mother's Day present, birthday gift, Christmas, whatever. And see, those are the things that's going to bring her joy. Those are the things that she can hang on her wall or put on her office desk or hang on the fridge. Those are the things that's going to bring her joy, things that she's going to look at every day. You know what's not going to bring her joy? When you scroll through Amazon, you find I don't know, a lot of times you see like those bath sets with the bath bombs and the lotion and the whatever that. Everybody knows those are cheap. Like everybody knows you're just buying those so that you can get them something to check them off the list. And to me, that has ruined Christmas. To me, that has ruined Christmas. So if anybody is expecting anything special from me that's store-bought, they're probably not going to get it. You're probably going to get canned goods. You're probably going to get something that's good for your health. If I got to buy it, it's going to be something like a balm or a soap. It's going to be maybe from the Goodwill or the antique store. It's going to be something that is not just straight off the shelf, brand new, latest, whatever. Because to me, there's no forethought put behind that. And everybody's going to get it. You can look back on the Black Fridays, back when people actually had to go in the store to buy something. You can look back at the Black Fridays when everybody was fighting over that flat screen TV or the Tickle Me Elmo or the latest Cabbage Patch Girl. Everybody had them. Everybody had them. And to me, it's ruined Christmas. It's ruined it. It's taken just the forethought and the joy out of Christmas. And here's the thing, we're the generations that watched The Grinch That Stole Christmas. And everybody wants to play it like the Grinch was the bad guy, but really he was the good guy, saying you all don't need these store-bought things. Y'all are taking the joy out of Christmas. Y'all are ruining it. You're buying these things just to check somebody off the list. He was the good guy. He was the good guy, but he was seen as the bad guy because he was saying the things that I'm saying right now. That you don't need the latest whatever. That people don't want the store-bought stuff because they've got the money to get it for themselves. How many people, I mean, everybody has Amazon. You can get on Amazon, you can order something, and you'll have it in 2 days. Everybody gets what they want now. So why don't you get them something that has forethought and meaning behind it, that has a heart behind it? What happened to when people used to like crochet gifts or like make something or like make Christmas cards? Or you know what? I wish people instead of buying me stuff would give me a daggone Christmas card. Christmas cards are out the window. And if you would send me a Christmas card, you better believe I'm going to put it up every single year. Every single year, I have a stack of Christmas cards that people have given me since me and my husband have been together. They are stacked up. They are put in my Christmas tote for Christmas time, and they're hanging. They're hanging across my ceiling here. They're hanging everywhere. But I don't get Christmas cards no more. I haven't got a Christmas card in years. And to me, I would soon rather have a Christmas card from you and you telling me Merry Christmas than getting me something from, Amazon that I could buy myself. I would soon rather have a Christmas card. And I think a lot of people are like that. I would think that a lot of people are like that. I cherish Christmas cards. I cherish cards. People get me a card for my birthday. It gets put up. I keep that. I have every card for my daughter's birthday and every card for my baby shower when I was pregnant with her, and the cards that people got me when me and my husband got married, and the Christmas cards. Those things are special. Those things are so special to me, and they're more special to me than, let's say, somebody get me something I'm never going to use. If you get me a bottle of lotion or perfume, that's going to be gone sooner or later. You get me a Christmas card, unless this house burns down or something happens to it, I'm going to cherish it. I'm going to love it. And see, that's what Christmas used to be. People, going out and picking cards out for people and taking the time to send it to you. See, that's the thing. It wasn't just the card. It was the people thinking about you. It was the people wanting to wish your family a Merry Christmas. It was probably the women gathering together and saying, guys, I know you don't want to take the Christmas picture, but we're going to take a Christmas picture this year, and we're going to send it to our friends and our loved ones because I want them to see you grow. And you would get those pictures every single year from, your loved ones and your family that you don't see. And them going through the time to just, write out individual cards and, pick my family to do it, and put it in the envelope and walk it to the mailbox or go to the post office or, spend the money on stamps. And if you bought stamps here lately, they're like 75 cents now. And so to me, that is Christmas. That's what Christmas is. It's the handmade cards, or just the getting pictures taken and sending them to your family and friends, or the baked goods. Like, what happened to when people made people treats when they were sick or for holidays, or what happened, even more common, do you all remember when people would have a funeral and then there would be a dinner after the funeral? That doesn't happen anymore. That doesn't happen. And people used to, have the funeral. There would be, a dinner after. They would spend time together. They would make sure that the family of the person that was passed had their needs met. Blah, 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 blah. Now, the only time you see your cousin or your aunt or your uncle or your grandparents is when somebody has passed away, and you see them just maybe an hour or two at the funeral, and then they're trying to get out the door, and they don't even come to the burial. They just come to the visitation. We are so disconnected from our family, from our friends, from everything. And we are living in a generation that is going downhill. We are living in future generations that are just going to continue going down this rabbit hole of selfishness. To me, it's just selfish. It's a selfish way of living. And I'm not for it. I'm not for it. I don't like it one bit. And where is the world that pasture flowed by? Reality is truth. But thank you, Daisy Q. I appreciate it. I appreciate your support. And I just, I've been on a long rant here, but I just want us to be better. I want us to be a better world. I want us to be a better community. I want us to have more love and care for the people around us, and to just feel a deep sense of community and love for everyone around us. Like I said, I've been on a big long rant, and I hate to say, I hate doing this. I'll get on these lives and I get all worked up, but I feel like we're failing. I feel like we're failing these generations behind us. They're losing the magic that was our growing up. They're losing it. It's lost on them. the love and the care we had for our community. And, you know, just, it got me thinking, when I was a child, I don't know, I know some people were raised in the city and stuff, but when I was, we didn't lock our front door until I was about 13 years old. We would sleep with our windows open at nighttime. The front door would be open and the screen door, you know, so the air could come through. We would put fans in our window and leave our doors, you know, our windows and our doors open when we went to bed at night. Can any of you all do that now? I know I can't. I know that we can't. You know, we had to purchase guard dogs to protect our animals, not only from predators, but from people. When we spoke to the people that we were buying our livestock guardian dogs off, we said we want to make sure that they're not real friendly with other people. We want to make sure we're buying them from a farm, that people aren't coming on and off of their farm constantly, because we don't want people coming on our farm and taking and killing our livestock, and, you know, taking our you know, materials off of our farm and things like that, because that happens every day. And people don't have respect for themselves. They don't have respect for other people's items. They don't have respect for their items. They don't respect people. They don't care about other people's values or their views. Only their values and views matter. And, you know, it's a crazy world with just in a short period of time how our world has shifted. Like I said, we didn't even lock our front door until I was about 13 years old. We lived in town. We lived in probably one of the busiest parts of our small town. And we never had to lock our door until somebody broke in and stole things from our home. But up until then, we had never had any issues. There was never any issues in the neighborhood where people were breaking into other people's homes. And now, you know, there's no way that we could leave our doors unlocked. You know, we not only gotta have a regular lock, we gotta have a deadbolt on the door to keep people out. And, you know, if people are putting cameras on their front porch and putting, you know, Ring doorbells on their doors, because people are coming in and just treating other people's items like they belong to them. And it's a sad reality. It's a sad reality. It makes me fear for the future generations. What is life going to be like when my child is my age? What is it going to be like for her? Because all I see is just fear. All I see is the scary stuff. And I had talked about it on a live a while back ago about why I'm not into politics, and why I don't watch the news. You're not going to catch me watching the news. I'm not going to watch the news. Unless it's the weather, I don't need it. I don't need it in my life. I don't want to hear it. And where I have not watched it in so long, where we don't have a TV, I haven't sat in front of the TV and watched the news in so long. When I hear something on like the radio, or I hear somebody say so-and-so has done this or done that, I gasp. Because I haven't, my brain is not set to hear bad things every single day. You know, a lot of people's habits is to get up in the morning, to flip the TV on, they drink their coffee, they watch the news, they hear this one shot that one robbed this one's in court for this one's done this, that one's done that, the government's doing this, blah, 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 blah. All this stuff is going on, and the very first thing they hear in the morning is this. They hear that. They hear that the world is just falling apart around you. And I used to listen to that. I used to watch the news. I used to hear that. And it would send me into just a stupor for the day. I would think, my Lord, I'm getting ready to cry to think about it. What is this world gone to? Why are these things happening? We didn't hear about these things growing up. You know, you could trust your neighbors. You could trust the people that lived around you. It was so rare for children to be like kidnapped, that, you know, they would leave their children in the vehicles. I remember I used to sit in the vehicle when my parents went into the grocery store. You know, they could leave us in the vehicle and nobody would try to kidnap us. We wouldn't get out of the vehicle. And even if we did, there wouldn't be an issue. You know, nothing would happen. And now you can't leave your kid in the car. You can't even drive down the road in your vehicle with not wondering, if somebody's going to run into you, if somebody's going to try to steal your vehicle, blah 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 blah. You hear about so often of like people stealing cars with babies in the back of them, like they're running mom out of the vehicle, a baby's in the back. Just a few years ago, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years ago, there was an Amber Alert for a vehicle that had an infant in it, and the man dropped the infant. It was in the near town near us. He dropped the infant outside in the car seat on the side of the interstate, and somebody drove by and happened to see something that looked like a car seat, and they pulled over. That baby could have passed away. What in the world is going on? Why are these behaviors happening? Why has this become the norm? That's what we need to be asking ourselves. These are the questions that we need to be worrying about. And we need to be thinking about how we can raise these next generations, how we can be a good influence on these next generations so we don't have kids, that turn into adults that are doing stupid stuff like that. Why is this happening? I have no clue. But it scares me. It terrifies me to my core to think about the type of world that my child is going to be raised up in to be an adult. What is her children going to have to go through, and her grandchildren going to have to go through? Because I can't even watch the news. I can't even flip the news on in the morning without thinking about all day what is happening in this world and where is this world going to. And if I can't do it, I know there's other people like that. We don't even have a TV in our house because we couldn't flip the news on and something decent come on. Actually, the other day, I was scrolling through Facebook and a familiar girl's face popped up. And I thought, I know that girl. I went to school with her. Click on the video. She's got a video interview that she's doing with the news that her company has refused to pay them and has not paid her or her employees since November, and it's December. They haven't been paid for that long that she's got 2 weeks to move out of her house and has zero money. What in the world is going on? What in the world's going on? Used to, you would work and be paid. But things are so out of whack now that it has become acceptable, according to them, for employees to come to work every single day and not be paid. Are you kidding me? And these are the reasons I don't watch the news, because you watch the news, you're going to figure out really fast that there's not that many good people left. You're going to figure out really fast that all the world has to offer is terror and despair. And, the innocence ripped from the very beginning. I feel like, we're talking about the next generations coming up. I feel like there is no such thing as innocence anymore. I feel like people have went out of their way to make sure that innocence is ripped from children. Have you looked lately, like, if you're going to watch a movie, PG-13 back in the day was, maybe a little bit more violence or a little bit more aggression of a video. PG-13 now, the standard of PG-13 is pornography, violence, drug use, cussing, substance abuse. PG-13 is something that there's no way I'd let my 13-year-old watch. There's no way adults should even be watching it at PG-13. There is no such thing as like a child's movie anymore. Even animations have gone way too far, putting adult matters in cartoons. I mean, what in the world has this world become? What has it become? If our child watches a movie, we have to watch it first, no matter the rating, to make sure that it's appropriate for our child to watch. I don't ever remember my parents having to pre-watch a movie to see if it was appropriate. I don't ever remember mom and dad saying, no, honey, I've got to watch this first to make sure, it's okay. Used to, PG-13, like I said, was just, a little more violence or, just maybe some things that's for older children, maybe, something that might be a little bit scarier for a younger child. But PG-13 was not, nudity. It was not substance abuse. It was not vulgar language. It was not just adult themes in general. And so that means that the world has become so out of whack that PG-13, that children that are 13 years old, because a 13-year-old is a child, 100%, children that are 13 years old, is so common for them to see adult themes such as nudity and whatever else. It's so common for them to see that is now the standard for PG-13. And there's been times that I'm like, oh, well, it's late at night and I want to find a good movie to watch, and I'll get on it and I always look at the ratings, and I'm like, oh, PG-13, maybe I can watch that. And, click through it and make sure that it's appropriate for me to watch even. And it is like never is. It never is. And so what in the world is going on? Why is that? Why is the innocent standard so low now? Why are children not children anymore? And you can really see it. You can see it on them. You can look at a child that is, middle school age, and you can see the innocence just ripped off of them. You can see it in the way they carry themselves. You can see it in the way they speak. You can see it in the way they dress. Why are 13-year-olds wearing, mini skirts and crop tops? Who knows? Why are they making, and I've heard mothers complain about this so much, why is baby clothes crop tops? Why are we producing clothes for babies that look like adult clothes? Adult clothes that I wouldn't wear, and majority of us wouldn't. Us women, even so, I've seen so many women complaining about it, especially my age, we don't want to wear a crop top. We want, if we're going to pay for a whole shirt, the price of a whole shirt, we want a whole shirt. We don't want nothing with holes in it. We don't want it cut off, at the breast. We don't want none of that. And so, but that is the norm for middle school age children. For them to talk like adults, dress like adults, act like adults, do adult things. There is no such thing as innocence anymore. No such thing. And where I have family members that work in the public school system, you would think it would just be middle school age students. No, elementary school age students too. There's no innocence in elementary school age students either. It pretty much stops as soon as they can talk. As soon as they realize what's going around them, innocence is just ripped from children just so quickly. And it's become the norm. It's become the standard. It's hard. Like I said, it's so hard to watch these things unfold. It's so hard to just see these things. And I know a lot of people are not religious. I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on this. And I'm not like I'm not the kind of person that a while back ago somebody got on the live and said God was punishing us. This is not the punishment. This is the end of times. These are the things that we were told were coming. This isn't our punishment. We're living the end. This is it. Probably not tomorrow. Might not happen tomorrow, but none of us know. But we're living in what the Bible tells us, what the Lord told us was going to be the end times. And we're seeing it unfold in front of us. And it's heartbreaking. And no, I don't think that this is God's punishment. I think this is what he told us was to come. And I know it's what he told us was to come. And I think that we need to prepare our children. We need to prepare our hearts. We need to prepare our children's hearts to be able to withstand. We're going to have to fight back. And, it's going to make us the oddballs. To other people, I'm sure we seem so odd. I know we seem odd. I know we seem odd to other people. But I'd rather be odd and have standards than to be part of whatever's going on and have none. I was raised different than that. I've got more in my heart than that. And I truly do care for people. I truly want to see people succeed. I want them to be healthy and happy. I couldn't get that out all. I was trying to make it one word. I'm wanting them to be all the things. But the saddest part of all this is that they're not going to be. The Bible speaks about how majority, I don't want to quote it because I don't want to mess it up, but how majority are not going to make it in. It talks about how a few are going to make it in. And why is that? Why is that? It's because people are willing to lower their standards. They're willing to get rid of their standards to join in with the crowd, to be part of whatever's going on, than they are to fight for their standards. And I'm willing to fight. I'm willing to fight. I spoke to somebody here recently, and I don't mean to say this to brag, but I mean to say this in a way that people can understand that they can do this. I was talking to somebody, and we were talking about addiction. And if any of you have been following along with me for a little bit, or have listened to me for any distance of time, or been around for any period of time, you know that I've never even smoked a cigarette in my life. And I was talking to this person about addiction, and they were a addict and had been an addict for a long period of time. And I was speaking to her, and I said, well, she's no longer an addict, but I was speaking to her, and I said, I never was the type of person to follow along with what everybody was doing. If the majority of people were doing it, I was going the opposite way. I was always the type of person that would, if you thought it was cool to do it and other people thought it was cool, hey Art, how are you? If other people thought it was cool, I was always the type of person to say, nah, I don't think it's that cool. And it was because a lot of times the things that people thought was cool was just low standards. And, throughout my teenagehood, my adulthood, even as a child, there's opportunities that are set before you, decisions that you have to make. And I talk to my daughter about this all the time, that every decision has consequences. Good decisions, bad decisions. Either one of those have consequences. If it's a good decision, a lot of times you're going to get good from it. If it's a bad decision, nothing good is going to come from this. And so I always had that in my mind. And I've never been, like I said, I've never been somebody that just follows along. I've never been, I remember you would hear in school, like we did a study on like advertisement. And, there's different things that people use in advertising to get you to buy this item or get you to purchase this, or, and one of them's like a celebrity. They put a celebrity in an ad, and because that celebrity's doing it, you should do it. Well, that's a form of being a bandwagon, hopping on the bandwagon. And I've never been the type of person to be a bandwagoner. And so if all of my friends were, sneaking out of the house and going, stealing their parents' pack of cigarettes and smoking a cigarette, I wouldn't be there. And I think that comes with morals. I think that comes with an understanding of consequences. I think that comes up with the way that you were raised. And I always remember, love my brothers hard, but I always remember my mom being concerned about my brother. She would look at me and my sister, and she would say, I'm not worried about you all because you two are not, you don't have the personality to hop on the bandwagon. But she would always say, your brother is a follower. And I remember her being concerned when we would grow up, and she said, keep an eye on your brother, because me and my brother are only a couple years apart. She would say, keep an eye on your brother because he's a follower. And he never got in too much trouble, but that I know of. But, don't be a follower. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. If it doesn't look right, absolutely don't be part of it. Don't be even seen around it. And I think that has been lost. And a lot of that is because parents no longer have morals, so they don't teach their children morals. There is no rules, so there's no standard. And we have to be aware that there has to be rules. There has to be standards. And this is coming from the person that is not the bandwagoner. This is coming from the student in high school. If a teacher said something, I would question it. If it didn't sound right, if it didn't look right to me, if it didn't feel right, I would say, are you sure? I would get in debates with I still to this day get in debates with people I love and I care for. But if it doesn't sound right to me, I'm not going to say you're correct. You're going to have to prove to me that that's the right way to do something. And I feel like if we could just raise our children to be that way, if we could raise the next generations up to not be followers, to be the people that question. And it probably got on my parents' nerves. It probably got on I know I got on the teachers' nerves. It probably got on other people. It gets on people's nerves now, but I will question you. I will question whatever you say. If it doesn't sound right, you're going to have to back it up. You're going to have to tell me why it is such a way. And not arrogantly, not, in a hateful or mean way, but if you want me to believe something, you're going to have to prove to me, why I should believe it. And I think that, and like I said, I'm not trying to brag. I honestly am not. I'm trying to use that as an example that needs to be set and I contribute that to my parents' raising of me. I contribute that to my, my parents raising me right. I married a wild child. My husband was wild growing up. And, they were more, not rules, not moral standard, not a moral, he was not raised with a moral compass or, it wasn't enforced, I should say. It's a lot different now, but it just wasn't enforced. It wasn't an enforced moral compass. And he was more of a bandwagoner. And he was more, into doing what everybody else was doing and what was cool. And because of that, he made some stupid decisions in his life. Things that he's had to pay for as an adult. And it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. We can set the future generations up to have these things. But it's going to take work. And you're going to have to go against the grain. And you're probably going to have to fight for you and fight for them. And you're going to have to make people mad. You're going to have to step on toes. You're going to probably have to be rude. But it's worth it. I'll put my child first every single time. I'll put her first every single time. And so people just need to be willing to give up, their selfishness and think about future generations. Well, guys, I was not planning on this whole entire live being a rant. I feel like I've really just ranted this whole time. And, I'm not sorry about it. I'm really not. Actually, when I was getting ready to do this live, I thought, what am I going to talk about? I'm going to, talk about homestead. I'm really going to make this live about homesteading. I really want to, make it about homesteading. And then I got into what in the world is this world gone to? And I'm not sorry about it. And I don't really care if people agree with me either on the subject. But thank you for the people that have hung on and listened to me rant for all this time. Thank you, Daisy Q and Ark, if you're still there, and Puppy Owl or Puppy Dog Owl, if you're still here, and Wilbur, if you're still here. I don't know who else here, but I appreciate everybody that comes on these lives. I appreciate the amount. I appreciate everybody that supports me. Is just it overflows out of my heart. I truly do appreciate the people that have been with me for a long time. Daisy Q is somebody that's been with me for a long time, and I appreciate it so much. And I like I said, I want nothing but the best for everybody. And I want everybody to succeed. But guys, thank you all so much for hanging out. Thank you for being so supportive. And wasn't planning on live going this way, but like I said, I don't feel bad about it. I gotta get the other two. They went hunting, and they had a good snack before they left. So when they get in, they're gonna expect supper. So I gotta get on supper. What is everybody having for supper? Tonight we're having half a chicken baked, probably some homemade mac and cheese, and some fried taters. So that's probably what we're gonna have. But like I said, I appreciate appreciate everybody hanging out, and I hope that I didn't run anybody off. But like I said, I don't feel bad for what I said. So anyways, thank you all. Bye guys. Thank you so much for the support. We'll see y'all on the flip side.